Carla.
And Denise. We have some camellia cuttings right back there, and we're taking these cuttings and we're going to root them. So we're just getting on here showing you what we're doing, how we're going to root these camellias, okay? And you can see here, you can see all of our plants in the background here. So it's winter time, and we have our plants indoors so that they will not freeze.
Yeah, and we don't have any fancy polytunnels or anything like that. We just bring them in here in the sunroom / laundry room / storage room / plant room.
And they spend the winter in here.
/ water heater closet.
Washer and dryer.
/ spare bedroom. do a little spin around and show them the sunroom just a little bit. See, we've got
and we've
got a lot
we
of
got
books
plants
over
on
here
the floor,
and
we've got
and I don't know if you want to show them the other side because it's a little more messy. But anyhow, this
is all y'all can see right here.
We got antique. You've got old, stuff from prior generations in here that
Maybe
kind
we
of decided what we were going to do with. So
let's move this back here because it's taller.
okay.
So
And I think we may need to move it a little more straight on so that you can see the whole table.
okay.
All right. So let's see.
So we went to the family cemetery here a few days ago, and everybody may not. I don't think, Carla, you didn't know about family cemeteries,
No.
did you? So our family has a family cemetery where we bury all of our people, and my sister was down, and so she wanted to go to the cemetery and look at all the graves and talk about the different relatives and ancestors and stuff like that. So while we were there, we noticed that there were some huge camellias there in the family cemetery. So we decided that we would take some cuttings and bring them home, and we're going to root them. So that's what we got right here.
If we can propagate them, then she and her sister will both have some camellias from the family cemetery right there from the family grave plot where everybody's buried.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do we want to do? Pull these all out? Lay them on
Yeah, let's see which ones. There's different ones here. I think this is one group. Oh, that one just came off. This one's.
And
Show
y'all,
it to them up close.
and y'all,
Camellia, that's so pretty.
Camellia petals are edible. They are a edible flower. This one is drying out. Let me show them this one because these are still good and red.
Mm-hmm.
See, this one these haven't dried out yet. They're still good and red.
That one's already fallen off the stem.
Like that.
Those are good. Those are pretty. So we've got a couple different kinds. Show them. I think those are the ones you cut off.
Yeah, these don't have any roots. They've just been cut. But now we did get some that have some roots on it.
And when I was, doing a little research about this, because we've propagated different things, but not necessarily camellias, the research says really the best time to pull them is in June to August and to get the newer growth, that's semi-hardened. But, this is the time we were there and what time we were available. So we went ahead and took them. Now these others, you have
yeah, we got roots on these others. You see that? And the ones Carla's holding back there, they've got roots. So I have hope for these.
More hope.
With all these roots on them.
Look at that. So these were the little offshoots that were coming up next to it. And we just put them in this pitcher of water because that was actually 4 or 5 days ago. Actually, they've been in this water almost a week. Look at this long root on this one, folks.
I want Stephanie to have this one. Randy pulled this one up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want that one to go to Stephanie. So
if it'll survive, it propagates and makes a good.
So what we're going to need to do is take off most of these leaves, right?
Mm-hmm. We just want to have a few at the top for it to take in some sunlight.
So that means even these little side branches, just cut them down to the main branch, or should we just take the leaves off?
No, we should cut them off because the the root has to root into the ground, and it has to start taking nourishment, and it's going to have to feed everything that's up this line. So
Okay.
the more things that are up the line, the harder it's going to be to keep all this going while it.
So we
While
want to
the
cut
roots
these
get
little,
stable
we want to
again.
cut these little branches off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to see this has some little branches coming out. We're going to cut those off, plus take these leaves off and just leave a few leaves right here at the top. So that's all that the roots have to try to feed. Just a few leaves at the top.
And we've got some nippers here to do that with. That's what we call them, little nippers. You can also use scissors if you have small scissors, if you have scissors that are tough enough. Here you go.
And I figured, you see this right here, I figured that should be kind of cut at an angle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
because it's
that will-
tore.
Yeah, so this is torn right here on the end. I'm going to cut that at an angle so that it will be a nice neat cut. And also at an angle, it will be able to absorb more nutrients if it's got more exposure to the nutrients and can absorb more nutrients. Okay.
And when you're using, just a note, when you're using little nippers like this, it's really good to clean them off to make sure you're not passing disease from the last plant that you were nipping on. And so I've already cleaned them off, and I've sharpened them a little bit, because obviously you want to have sharp so you're not tearing up the.
And that, however you sharpen them, that worked real good. How did you sharpen those?
I used your little sharpener that has the two wheels.
So that was
I
my
used
pepper
that-
chef.
I used that a little bit, and then but it was kind of hard to get it on there. So then I took your little whetstone and just rubbed it back and forth like this.
Okay, well, it
Up
worked
and
real
down
good.
both directions.
Okay,
you want
so
to finish nipping that one, and I'll
Yeah.
pick a pot that will be appropriate for that one.
so I'm just going to go ahead and start snipping these off. Okay. Let's see if I can get where y'all can see that.
And I'm just looking at the pots. You want it to be deep enough so that it won't tip the whole pot over if it's too. Do you think that's big enough?
I
You
think
think
it
the
is.
roots will fit inside of it? Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that fits good.
It may need to be put into a bigger pot later, but this should start it. And then I'll get a little saucer to put underneath it to hold water in.
So these little leaves, I can just pick these leaves off right here.
Okay, we're gonna need some more saucers because we don't have a saucer that size.
But the branches I've got to actually nip off. Okay. There we go.
So we'll just use a big saucer for right now. That way we can saturate the dirt really good, and then once it stops dripping, we can move it out.
Okay, should we take any more leaves off, you think, or what? I think this leaf looks bad and it should come off.
I think you should just leave those four on the top.
Okay.
That's just my thoughts on it. So you said camellia leaves or petals can be eaten?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
what would you do? Would you make a tea with them?
I don't know.
You haven't
All I know is that I know they're edible, but I don't know any recipes for them yet. I haven't gotten that far into it. I just know they're edible.
Well, I know, like with rose petals, you can make rose
I
petal
don't think
jam
you
with
should
them.
fill that all the way up. You should put some dirt in it, and then let's put this down in it, and then fill it up with dirt, because we don't want to mess. Oh, we want to put some root and medium on this stuff.
Oh, yeah. You're right. So let me dump some of this out. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, let me just put some in the bottom. Those holes in the bottom are big.
There's
You know what?
there's some we should get some pine straw to put in the bottom of that. Put in the bottom of it, and wouldn't that help keep the
Moisture
dirt
from going,
from-
or
dirt
the
from
dirt
falling.
from going. Yeah, and actually what I was thinking to do, where's my little handy pocket knife? What I was thinking to do is just cut a piece of this box. That was one reason I kept this box around, because cardboard will absorb moisture, but then the dirt can absorb it back out.
Okay. Yeah,
So I was thinking if we just put a piece of this in the bottom, pine straw's not a bad idea either. If we put a piece of this in the bottom, then it would still allow moisture to go through it, but it can also hold moisture into some tree too.
This is a rooting hormone, y'all. And we're going to put some of that on the roots. That will help it to take root. Maybe it's best to do it this way.
Got my handy little pocket knife here.
Really don't know how I'm going to get all these roots, get this stuff on these roots.
Mm-hmm. We might could use a bigger cup or something. You know, put some on a cup.
I guess if I get a plate or something.
Oh yeah, a plate. That sounds good. Let's see if anybody's on here. Y'all on here? Hey, I think is that Paris Nation? How you doing? We are rooting some camellias today out here in the sunroom. Hey, Bishop. And so I'm going to put this little cardboard circle down in the bottom of it. Cardboard will absorb water and soak it up, but it will also allow the plant to take the water back out. And it will dissolve eventually. These pots are going to be temporary for these plants at the moment anyhow. They're mainly to get them going, and then once they get going good, we'll put them in a bigger pot. And then eventually put them in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if y'all root stuff, if y'all are doing planting and stuff yourself, y'all tell me if you've got some ideas on this stuff, but I kind of have a theory. I like to keep mine in the pots for a year or two, kind of be able to control the environment that they're in, bring them in when it's terribly cold, but allow them to get a little cold so that they can adjust to the environment and stuff before I put them in the ground. Seems to work pretty good. Our satsumas that I got a few years back, we left them in pots for a year or so, and I think maybe just transplanted them into a bigger pot at some point, and when I say transplanted to a bigger pot, I mean literally just took it out of one pot, put some dirt in a bigger pot, and put it down in the bigger pot. Like, we didn't mess with it a whole lot because we didn't want to damage it. And then we, after it was, I don't know, a couple of years, we got them during the winter, and then after it was a couple of years, then we went ahead and planted them out in the back. And right now they have little pillow, not pillowcases, but little sheets on them. Yeah, little sheets on there. I got a little bit of dirt in the bottom of there.
Okay, so
And then we can put some more
hormone on them.
I was going through and just kind of getting some of the roots out. So the dirt that we have, this dirt is in a spot where we have piled
Logs.
yeah, stumps and stuff where we
Cut
grow
wood.
mushrooms,
Mhm.
cut wood.
We've grown mushrooms on the stumps, but they have finally deteriorated and turned back into dirt. So we have really, really rich dirt right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're using. And I've got some leaves and some pine straw mixed in with this dirt too.
Okay. Just basically, we have what we're putting in here is some natural, natural matter from the earth. Y'all may not have pine straw. We have a lot of pine trees around here, so we have tons of pine straw.
Yeah, so when we see pine straw, bales of pine straw for sale at the store, we just laugh about that because we can just walk right out in our yard and rake up all the pine straw we want, but we know that some places don't have pine trees, and so they don't have pine straw.
And honestly, when I was in North Texas, we didn't sell pine straw. What we sold a lot of was peat moss, pine bark, mulch, that sort of stuff. So I don't know the reasoning. If you just wasn't it wasn't great in that soil or what, but you think that's enough dirt? I think that's,
I wanna
no, you
fill
want
it
to fill
all
it
up.
all the way up? Okay.
So let's see, somebody's asking something here. The organic cooking twins, what are you doing?
Mhm.
We have some camellia cuttings, and we are rooting them. So we're just showing you how we're rooting them.
And these camellia trees, I don't know if y'all are familiar with camellias. I wasn't really familiar with them when I was in Texas. When I moved to Alabama, I found out about them. They are the state flower. And camellias grow very slowly. We had some camellias out front that they didn't do well. The last one got cut down.
They met their doom.
Yeah, they didn't.
The lawnmower got them.
Yeah, the lawnmower got the last one, and the others just did not thrive. And I think just where they were put, this one is under shade, and I think that they do need some shade. Because the one that survived was under shade. It was under the shade of the magnolia.
I was doing a little reading on it, and they need like some morning sun and evening shade, or either they need some shade throughout the day.
So they don't like the really heat of the day. But they're not a fast grower. And the ones out in that cemetery, which you have ancestors buried out there 2 or 3 or 4 generations back. So back in the beginning of the 1800s.
Yeah.
So that cemetery has been there for a long time, just already platted out like that. And this camellia tree was way taller than me and just big around. So this camellia might be 50 to 100 years old.
Yeah.
So that's one reason we wanted to take it. All right. So what do you think? I'm just going to use some of this water that we had them in.
Okay.
And one of the important things that I do know is important about cuttings is they need to have plenty of water. That was probably too much water right there. We'll see if it soaks in. If it doesn't, we'll.
Yeah, and I read too that camellias don't like their feet to be wet. So yeah.
So we don't necessarily want. So that's something to think about. Some plants like to suck up the water from the tray, and some plants need the water to go soaking down into it. So it's better to pour the water on the top. So it just depends on what kind of plant they are. So I may have put a little too much water in here. Let me pour some of it out. Okay. And we're going to put you right in the sunshine so you can get plenty of sunshine. Ooh, how am I going to do that?
Step into the sunshine, get out of the shade. This is the one time that you got it made.
Y'all get some random music with the live. We've got some other plants and stuff in here that we don't remember what all of them are that we planted. But Denise, we are limited on our space over here. I wonder if we should plant one in here.
Oh, that would
because a lot of this is dead.
I think so. I think that would be a good idea. Probably can just pull all of that up out of there. I had this right here was basil, but I have trouble getting my basil to live through the winter.
So if y'all have tips, y'all let us know.
If y'all know how to make basil live, let me know.
Is that the longest one, the biggest one right there that you got? Because I think this one needs the big one.
Put that one in there.
Okay, so we'll save that one for that one.
And I'm going to trim this one up.
Yeah, these things just gave up the ghost. They just dried out and went pitiful on us, and we have no reason why. Like, we had them inside for a little while in the actual house. We gave them plenty of water. We let them dry out some.
This
we put them in the sunshine. This
one's got a little vine wrapped around it.
Ooh.
Let's get this little vine off of here, y'all. Okay. Got it.
And we were going to do this outside because we were like, oh, we need to be outdoors and get some fresh air and get out of the house. And we realized it is still a little too chilly to be outdoors. It's what, 57, 58 degrees, something like that. So some of y'all may be in the further northern areas and it may be a lot colder than that, but it's still too cold for us. Ooh, this one had some pretty good roots on it. Look at that.
Sure did.
But they just dried up, withered
It
away.
just wouldn't work.
Now, which herbs have you had really good success with down here?
Rosemary, I've got a big rosemary bush, and I've got a nice big oregano bush. And the flat Italian parsley, that does well.
Now, the rosemary and the oregano, those are several years old, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And they like sun.
They like sun, and they have done well in the wintertime here too.
And they're in full sun.
Mm-hmm. They're in full sun.
Maybe I gave this thing too much water. I don't know. The other one that we've tried that's been, the other herb that's been kind of picky is cilantro.
Yeah.
Y'all tried cilantro? Because we haven't had very good success with that either, and I love cilantro. I like it in my eggs. I like it in my salsa. Okay. I'm going to take this one over here and show it to them and see what they got to say. So this one right here, I don't know if you can see, but it had dried out, but it had some growths on it. So we trimmed the other stuff off, and it had green growth here and green growth here. So we were like, okay, maybe it's going to make a comeback. Nope, it clearly didn't. Hey. Hey, Anna. There's the organic twins that you mentioned a while ago. Mm-hmm. The worst moderator. I don't know. That's a pretty serious claim right there. You're claiming fame right there. There might be a worse one than you. But y'all share with us if y'all have some ideas. We are definitely not know-it-alls, but we do enjoy playing with plants and learning about plants. I hope I brought enough in here, enough pots. One of them's found to work.
Yeah. Pull these apart.
What do you think? That one?
That's what I'm thinking. See if that'll work.
Yeah, this was coming from one of my olive trees, which also didn't make it. They survived. They were doing well. They weren't growing really fast, but they were doing well. But they also, let me put some cardboard or something down there, because there's big holes. All the water's going right through.
That one big, yeah, maybe we can do it like that, you reckon?
Yeah, and we can, yeah. Let's see if it comes up like this. Yeah, and then this thing will curl around. Unless you want to go with a bigger one. Should we go with a bigger one with that one?
Go with a deeper one.
That one has a long root on it, so we want to make sure the roots are not cramped. Give them a little bit of space.
This one's busted up.
Oh,
that ain't gonna work. We're gonna need this one for that big.
no, we're going to put that one in here.
Okay, good. Okay, I guess we can do it here.
Mm-hmm. We're going to put some of this cardboard down here to keep the dirt from just going straight out.
So I'm putting that rooting hormone on it like this. Wet the end of it so that rooting hormone will stick to it. Okay, this is another one that's ready to go. So this one, we want this one, yeah, in that big pot.
Now, should we go ahead and just trim these two sides off and just have one?
Well, I don't want to. That's one that I pulled up especially for me, and that I want to try it like that.
Okay. All right.
Because because I like for my camellias to have several branches coming out, not just one branch. And so that one right there has got 3 branches, and I want to try it just like that.
Dirt in here. This dirt is so rich. We have also gotten dirt from the swamp down behind the house too. Dirt's pretty rich with organic matter.
But you have to think about the alligators that are down there, and the bears and the wild hogs.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about all that if you're going to go down to the swamp.
Now y'all didn't worry about that when y'all were kids, did you?
We didn't know about it when we were kids. We didn't know there were alligators and hogs and bears down there. But now we know they're down there, so it's kind of scary to think about going down there now.
Y'all just knew there was snakes.
Yeah, we knew there were snakes, and we wasn't afraid of the snakes. We didn't worry about them.
How did y'all deal with the snakes?
Well, I mean, we just kept our eyes open. We were looking as we were walking through the woods or running or whatever. You just always just looked around, looked where you were putting your feet. If you did walk up on a snake or run up on a snake, and we did do that, we would run up on them from time to time, rattlesnake, whatever. We would just immediately stop and just, like a statue, stop, and then we would just slowly back away. When we got far enough away, we'd take off running. So, yeah, if we saw a snake, you just stopped immediately. And we never got bit. Why don't you let me work on that, and you cut a piece of cardboard.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
this,
I'm trying to hold it up so I don't get it too.
Okay. To get it in distress.
Yeah, get it too cramped down there.
And I don't know that, well, I started to say I don't know that we always had bears out here, but we probably did, because I remember Mama saw one out on the main dirt road, when we were all still out here.
But of course, there was a lot of kids running around. So they probably weren't real anxious to stay around too much.
Yeah, I think the bear population out here has increased over the years. And of course, we're not, they're protected, so you can't kill them or nothing like that. So just growing in population.
I'm getting hungry.
And we got soup made. Did I make the soup live?
Yes.
We've got homemade soup made. I can't remember if I made it live.
Yesterday, yeah.
I made it yesterday live, but I can't remember what platform I made it on.
YouTube.
Okay. She said I made it on YouTube. By the way, South Alabama Cooking is on all the platforms, okay? So if you're on some of the other platforms, you can look us up and find us. Okay, this one's ready to go.
Yeah, most of the time it's food. Sometimes it's going to be some fishing,
We'll just send it
especially
over.
during the summer.
Yeah, I love to fish, and so when warm weather gets here, that's the one I wanted to put there. When warm weather gets here, I'll be going fishing, and of course we'll be videoing that.
think maybe we should pause and do the big one next
Okay.
and
sounds
put it
good.
over here in this big pot
Okay. Sounds good.
and get it off the table so that it's, you know, it'll be over there and out of the way.
Just a little bit more. Okay, that's great.
I'm gonna dip some of this out so that we can put
Okay.
the plant in, then we can put more back in around it.
See here? That's the way we got it. 3 leaves at the very top. And we got this big one. This one is for my sister Stephanie. See all them roots on that? Okay, so we want to cut these limbs off, right? I don't want to do nothing until I get a second opinion.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
cut the limbs off just
Uh-huh.
and go up maybe and leave some up there.
Right.
Okay.
And it will spread out and get bigger and bigger once it gets a good root system on it.
And look, that's a pretty big limb that come off of that. I wonder if we can try to root that. I'm gonna
Ooh.
try it. I'm gonna try to root this limb too, right here. Y'all just get to see some of our everyday stuff that we're doing.
Y'all go ahead and tell us. Are y'all somewhere where it's cold and snowy and y'all are
Just inside watching YouTube videos.
are y'all down in Florida or the Bahamas or somewhere and feeling sorry for us? Having this 58-degree weather.
Boy, this is gonna be a booger to try to get rooting hormone on.
You could hold it over it and you could.
I'm just gonna have to kind of pat it on there.
Okay. And in all honesty, I mean, that one's probably going to be the most likely to succeed anyhow, so
Yeah.
it's probably going to need it less because it's got that nice big root that's already used to
Mhm.
pulling in water. My arm's getting tired of all this digging. It's a nice bright and warm start too.
All right, I got this one ready.
All right, is there room for me to put this big pot over here?
Here you want on the
Or we can
table or
both-
what?
You know, one of us is going to need to hold the.
Okay.
Hold the plant while we put it down in there. Make sure it's all loose and. Okay. We'll get it in there.
Figure out how to get this. I'm just gonna have to kind of wind it around.
And you're that far up from the ground, so you've got, yeah, there we go.
Is that good?
I'm gonna pull this out and just put some around on the, oops. Go ahead and put some on the root so that it's got dirt on it. Okay. All right, here we go. Load her back up again.
And this is nice and wet. It ain't gonna need no water, is it?
Mm-mm. There's something that's very satisfying, relaxing, back to nature. I don't know about digging in the dirt.
Maybe that's why you like to make mud pies when you were a kid.
Maybe so.
Did you ever make mud pies? We did.
I think so. I think we even fed them to my brother. I don't know that he ate all of them, but
we used to say, y'all know the bahia grass that's got the little fingers sticking up. It's got the little black fuzzy stuff all over them. We'd pick a piece of that bahia grass when we was kids. I'd go up to one of my brothers or my sisters and I'd say, close your eyes and open your mouth and Granny will give you a little surprise.
Granny will give you a little surprise.
They'd close their eyes and I'd get that thing and I'd go rip it through their mouth. They'd get all that black stuff on their mouth. Hey Callie, we doing good. How you doing?
There we go. There we go. How's that?
Mm-hmm. I think that's great.
Okay. And this
Okay,
one,
so
like
that
I said,
one's
this
done.
one's already got moist stuff in it. Oh, you know what? This one doesn't need a. I think.
It's spilling water out. Yeah, because you tilted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it doesn't need a
It
little.
has its own little.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't need a little cup of it.
It has its own little cup. That's what I was trying to tell. And I'll lift it up carefully.
Okay.
Maybe I overwatered that basil. Maybe it doesn't like its feet wet either. So.
Okay, so this one has got roots on it. We want to put this one
Okay.
in something.
Here's a little pot right here. How's that? That looks good.
Yeah, that's
It
going to
covers up all the roots. All right, and here's some pieces of cardboard that we can.
No, let me get some rooting hormone on this.
Oh yeah.
We're going to fix you up. You're going to have a new home. You're going to be so happy. I'm trying to talk positive to it. You know, you're supposed to talk to your plants. Tell them how pretty they are. Oh, you're such a pretty girl. Look at you, just growing. Well, I need to cut this off at an angle. It's kind of torn on the bottom, so let's cut that off. And I'm going. This one's. Oh, I got to take all these leaves off of it too.
Well, and you can trim those once you get it in the pot if you need to. Oh, that's a root. I have those set aside for a purpose. Those were roots. I was trying to keep those out of the. So they didn't have any competition. All right.
Ready?
Yeah, put her down in there. It's got some dirt at the bottom, and then I'll put some dirt around it. put it underneath it. Put this underneath it so we're not making such a mess. I scooped up the water that was on this table and just put it inside the pot. Because I
Okay.
figured it needed water anyhow. Now this one had a root on it, right?
Yeah, it had roots.
Okay. So we don't necessarily need the dirt to go way up on the trunk because it's got roots to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing. If you don't have roots, if you're trimming it off and it's got to create roots, you need to bury some of those little nodes
Mm-hmm.
down into the dirt so that it has.
Those
Beautiful
nodes will
root.
grow roots out. I don't know that it needs any water.
Just splash in there. You can sit right here, little buddy. All right. What else? Got any more, or we're done?
Well, we got these right here. Do we want to try to mess with these, or I'm kind of doubtful about these myself, but whatever you think. I mean, it's not going to hurt to try and see
Well,
what happens.
would we have several nodes? We don't, do we? Because we'd have to bury it up to here to have 2 nodes.
Yeah, we would.
And so this one too, we'd have to bury it pretty far. So yeah, these are probably
Not good options,
no. Maybe this one we can take inside and put in the little vase.
and just have the flowers.
Enjoy the flowers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So that's the rooting stuff. Do we want to go ahead and plant this echinacea seeds
Mm-hmm.
while we're out here?
Mm-hmm. We did.
Okay.
Okay. So we probably need to kind of wipe this up. Don't you reckon?
There's a trash can out here. You don't have
Yeah, there's a
can.
trash can out there. Let me go get it.
Which this can just go be thrown out back in the yard. It's just organic matter, but. Okay, so I have a little seed tray. And these are just little cheap deals you can buy at the store. And the cover came off of it. But you can put dirt in these little trays. And then they're down in here, put some water in them, put the lid on them, and you've got like a little greenhouse effect to try to grow some seeds. So that's what I'm going to try to do now, is do that. Now there are some lot fancier ones, the little cool ones with the little pads of dirt already in them. That was cool. But I was like, I'm not paying an extra $6 just to have dirt in it, because I have plenty of dirt, so not worried about that. All right, I don't really want to put this here and get it all grossy. So while she's going to get some cleanup supplies, I'm gonna go ahead and just take some of this dirt and put some in these little holes. Maybe I should use my fingers, huh? This that we're going to plant is echinacea, and echinacea has some medicinal value. We have found it in some other states. I don't think we've found it in Alabama, but we found it in some other states. And we've tried to transplant some, hasn't worked. So I saw some seeds at the store the other day, and I thought, I mean, we could try some echinacea seeds, and maybe something comes of it. And if nothing comes of it, well, whatever, you know.
I'm not really sure if echinacea will grow in our region where we're at, so, but like Carla said, we can just try it and see what happens.
There's a little piece of dried mushroom, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
right here.
Okay.
Kind of looks like dried mushroom. Like it, it's similar to that bark. Yeah, I didn't want to put this down on top of it, and then the bottom's all dirty. And Oh, look at that, you brought extra paper towels. Smart girl. We do have that little hand broom over there we can broom it off with.
Never heard of brooming it off before, but
Oh, well, sweep it off. Whatever. Broom it off, sweep it off. You know me, I make up those new words. It's the Carla English language.
is that okay, you think?
Yeah, I think that's plenty good. You did a great job, niece. Alright, so I don't know how many little seeds are in here. How many little spots we need to fill up. Let's see if it gives us any special instructions. 2-3 seeds per starter pot. Indoors 6 to 8 weeks before transplanting. Then to one strongest plant per pot when 2 inches tall and transition outside for 7 days before outdoor transplant. So 7 days for it to harden and adjust to the outdoors. And it says transplant outdoors February to March or September to October for our time zone. So that should be perfect amount of time. It's 10 to 15 days germination. Should be middle of February when it's ready to start going outside.
Okay.
So should be by March we should be ready to go. My hands are really disgusting. Do you want to do this part?
How am I supposed to do it?
We need to open it out and get the seeds out, and it said 2 to 3 seeds. So I don't know if you want to just put them right here on the
You want me to
table
drop them
and
in
then
there? or
drop
what?
2 to 3 in there, or yeah, and then I can cover them up with more dirt if I need to, or
1, 2, 3 seeds.
we might better hang on to this so that we remember what we put in this container.
Okay.
Which ones have you filled already? Or I'll just wait until you fill all of them now. Looks like you're gonna need a few more holes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I hear wind. I hear wind kicking up out there.
Where did you put it? Okay, hang on.
Oh, just starting to put some in this next row of.
Okay, I'm almost out of seeds.
All right, then I'll stop with that. That was a lot of seeds then. Okay, so I'll just sprinkle some dirt over the top of all of them. Get this counter dirty again, that you just cleaned up. What do you think? More or
Got
less?
some seeds right here.
Oh yeah, I need to cover those up. All right.
So this is one of our winter projects, y'all. We're home for 6 months. We come home during the cold months, and we have, a list of projects that we try to get done while we're home for the 6 months. And then for 6 months we're RVing and out fishing and at the beach and stuff like this. Stuff like that. So this is one of our winter projects right here.
Yeah, my grandma says you can't have everything, so you got to pick and choose what you're going to do. So if we were here all the time, we would garden all the time because we enjoy gardening, but we're not. And the deer tends to eat it, or the raccoons, or the possums, or something digs it up.
Yeah, I had to actually give up planting, a garden because the deer come in and they eat everything. And so I can't really have a garden until I can put up a fence around it. And it's either got to be high enough that the deer cannot jump over the fence, or either I've got to have some type of a fencing for a top on it too. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to keep the deer out from eating everything.
Okay, so how much water is in the bottom? Just a little bit. This is a long tray, so I'll just pour the rest of this
Okay.
into the bottom and then put the lid on it.
Okay.
Would you put the lid on it? Would you do that honor since I've got my hands all disgusting? And I'll just get the.
Isn't that, it just fits like that? I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool deals. All right, and do we have all the plants over here? We have this one. Did we put?
There's
We
two
put some
right
on the
there.
floor. So let's
Yeah.
see if I can get them up here.
We may have to just leave this little table.
Here's
out.
the sweet basil. You'll rest in
Just
peace.
right, yeah.
Yeah, you think we should just leave this tray out, or this table out for the
What I'm
time being?
figuring, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna do some more planting. I have some plans. Y'all look at this pretty, show them this pretty plant, Denise.
Crown of Thorns is what it says. It's called.
And the church actually gave me and Denise both one of those for Mother's Day. I'm not a mother, but you know, they were just being nice. And they gave me one of the extra ones. And we've had them for almost a year, and they just keep blooming, and they do great. I'm gonna put them in a planter, planter for a friend of mine. But I think I'm gonna need more soil, so I may actually need to buy a bag of soil so that I have enough soil for that. And then I want to put a couple other little plants in there with them. So she's got a new home or a new place there, so that'll be her. What is it? Housewarming, so that she gets, a little plant. May not be important to her. It's important to me to have a plant. But
So are we done here, you think?
I think we're done here.
Okay,
Is there any questions, any ideas, any great plans that they've talked about on there?
Nope.
No, they're just quiet.
So I think we're done for today, y'all. Thanks for stopping in and visiting with us as we were transplanting and rooting plants. Okay, so if you don't follow South Alabama Cooking, just you can subscribe there. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you'll get to see what we're doing. Okay, all right, y'all be good out there. We'll see you next time.
Did we put water in?